You're listening to Unmuted with Papamutes.
And the other thing I thought about was all the people who I cared for who wanted to see me fail and busted my chops constantly with such lovely quotes as "time to grow up, quit baseball, be a man. It's a pipe dream. Be realistic. You're never going to make it. Get a job. Get a real job. You're going to be a failure." All those things, right? And how am I going to deal with that? And then I said, what am I going to do next? So for 2 weeks, I was out of it, to be honest with you. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I was, 21, 22 years old, and I was done. And then I said, well, I do have 5 years as an assistant coach at my old high school as a volunteer. Maybe I can do that. And as kind of luck would have it, the head coach, who was my coach in high school, Rich Woznicki, had to take a year off, and I was named interim head coach at my old high school. I was 23 years old, caught the coaching bug, and I was always interested in coaching, but that's when it hit me, and thank God things went from there.
Awesome. Now, just to pivot a little bit to the scouting part of a baseball scout. So, I mean, the average Joe like myself sounds like, whoa, okay, you go to games and you evaluate, talent. I mean, is there more to it than that? It sounds like a good gig, but I mean, sometimes it doesn't appear as as reality. But not going too deep into it, but what does a baseball scout do besides look for talented people, of course?
Well, to go back again, I don't know if you want me to go into this part of it, but I was trying to get into professional baseball as a coach, and 100 and some odd rejections later, and plus, because some didn't even respond, I contacted my wife, and I were going to go watch a good friend of mine, Vinny Pazienza, box. He's a Hall of Fame boxer. We're going to go watch him at Foxwoods Casino.
Oh, yeah.
So I decided to get some reading material. And there was a little square advertisement for European baseball. This is in November of 99. Now, I was climbing the ladder. I coached in my high school, then coaching at Penn State Beaver. I was head coach there. I won a championship there at a community college, Beaver County. I was an assistant at Duquesne University. Then I left there. 2 years, I disappeared. And then I got a job at Quigley Catholic High School for a whopping $800 a year. And I was pretty far away from my dream. I just wanted those 3 letters next to my name, pro, right? So then in November 99, I saw that advertisement. I told my wife, when I get back, I'm going to contact this company. So I connected with them. She said, no, why don't you contact them while we're at Foxwoods? So I did. And he said, yeah, the guy's name was James Gamble. Excuse me. And he said, yeah, get back with me. So at least 3 times a month, I contacted James until January of 2001. He offered me the job, and I became general manager in 2002, and I still have the same job. There's more to that story we can get into later if you want, but so my dream finally came true. Now, as far as what does a scout do? Yes, you go to games, and we run pro tryout camps, evaluation camps, and 2-day camps. The first day we test the skills, the arm, the glove, the hitting, and the speed. And then the next day we play a live game. And some guys are good during practice. Some guys are not good, and they're not good during the games. Some guys are okay during practice, and they're great during the games. Jim Leland, the new Hall of Fame manager, said, I want the guys who are good after the national anthem, not before, right? So, it does take an eye for talent, which, to be very honest with you, in my opinion, it's diminishing because now everything's analytics. Analytics, numbers. Well, that's fine. If a guy's hitting 320, that's terrific. Who's he doing it against? Who's the competition against, right? A guy might be hitting 285 against really good competition. A guy's hitting 320 against poor competition. So you really do have to have an eye for it. Can the eye be trained? Sure. It isn't like a gift, I don't think. like a talent, a physical talent. I believe that you have to have a physical talent to do. Dan Marino was born with a great arm. Yes, his father,
Right.
taught him the quick release. Joe Namath, same thing. You have to be born with X amount of ability. Then you work hard to hone those skills. As a scout, if I can show somebody what to look for. But yes, you look for obviously physical talent. But the other thing for me is what kind of a person is this player. I will never sign or send a problem to another team because I don't want problems as a coach. So I get asked all the time, what kind of a player do you want at Carnegie Mellon? And what kind of player do you sign professionally? What do you look for? I very simply say the good people who can play. That's it.
Now, speaking of Carnegie Mellon, from what I have read, that is a non-scholarship school, correct?
Right.
There's no scholarships
For
there.
baseball, yeah. I don't know what they do, baseball,
It's
basketball, or football, but we do not
Division
give
3,
scholarships.
right? So has anyone, well, not just Carnegie Mellon, but in general that you have coached, whether it's Carnegie Mellon or, batting, what's the camps, stuff like that, made it to the show, aka the major leagues?
I've had, I say, one player that could have at Penn State Beaver, one at CC Community College Beaver County, and about four who could have played from Carnegie Mellon. The ones at Carnegie Mellon, three of them decided to go make six figures in the real world as opposed to making $800 a month in the minor leagues. And they made great decisions. One of them got hurt. But, now with the advent of the independent leagues and our company, the Global Scouting Bureau, we deal with every professional league in the world. We've assisted in getting players everywhere. So, yes, we could have had some players sign, but they, chose a different route. But it's hard, but there's more opportunities now. But, I think they made the right decision.
Now, what separates the guy who makes it and a guy who's talented and doesn't make it? I mean, I know it sounds like a dumb question, but what's the,
there's a lot of talented players that don't. Yeah, there's a lot of talented players that don't make it.
That's what I was trying to say.
Because either they can't take the punch of an early failure, or homesick, or they shock. But a lot of it could be. There's a young man that I'm dealing with out of the Dominican who was released twice from major league organizations, and the kid's a talented player, but he was away from home for the first time. Then there was some things he was told to do hitting wise that he didn't really like, and it didn't work. His numbers were down. So, it's like anything else. You are going to get hit. You're going to get punched, meaning you're going to have to overcome some obstacles. That's just like even with me, all the rejections that I had, all the negativity, and I saw people that I was better than getting jobs. So, whenever I do a speech, one of my topics is the acronym TOP, TOP. I had to be tough, I had to overcome, and I had to be persistent. Those who are able to do that, plus have some skill, are going to go all the way. And it's hard, and there's not a science to it. Forgive me for anybody who, like my daughter wants to be a school counselor. Well, there's a and I don't mean this in a negative way. I'm so proud of my daughter, and she's worked incredibly hard. She graduated from University of Pittsburgh. She's going to grad school at Duquesne. But there's kind of a path. Or if you want to be a teacher like my wife, there's a path. To play in professional baseball, you would think there's a path. Do well in high school and or college, get drafted or go as a free agent, go to the minors and do well. Yeah, but there's just a little more to it, at least in my opinion. Maybe I'm being biased. I don't know.